Jurnalistul britanic Charlie Ottley, cunoscut pentru celebrul serial Flavours of Romania, difuzat pe Netflix, a revenit în Bucovina pentru a filma un nou episod. Alături de echipa sa, Charlie Ottley a străbătut meleagurile Bucovinei, surprinzând momente unice din tradițiile locale. Printre experiențele filmate se numără o nuntă tradițională, vizite la stână, degustări de produse locale cu trufe și explorarea peisajelor pitorești. La finalul călătoriei prin Bucovina, echipa Flavours of Romania a poposit în comuna Frătăuții Noi, la Achilina Boghean, unde au fost impresionați de cămășile tradiționale cusute manual. Aceasta a fost ultima lor oprire în Bucovina, iar Charlie Ottley și echipa sa au fost încântați de măestria cu care Achilina, în ciuda vârstei sale, continuă să coase fără ochelari, demonstrând dragostea pentru tradițiile locale.
Sau, uitați, asta e cu mărgele, asta e mătase, aici cu mărgele.
Beautiful.
Manual, totul manual.
Da, știu, foarte mult treabă.
Singurică.
Da.
Pentru că am familie mare.
Da, mare.
Așa, da.
Știu.
Fiecare bunică făni, bunică făni și bunica faci și ce să facă.
Normal.
Asta e mânica. This is the sleeve.
The sleeve, wow, that's incredible.
Cu mărgele.
Yeah.
Vă faci așa? Ai, așa să fac, așa să fac. Dar și nici nu pot să stau așa ea. Nu. Eu la ora 7, ca la servici, stau la căsut. Copiii ne aduc mâncare. Hai, mami, cât ți-am adus. Și atunci și bunica coasă.
And she's doing this. I mean, she must have incredible eyesight for her age because.
Charlie, dar ce vedere aveți?
Cu fără ochelari.
Și dați it without glasses.
Da, mai degrabă dacă e soare și e frumos, da.
Wow, she's very norocos, foarte norocos.
Sezonul al treilea al seriei Flavours of Romania va include 9 episoade, dintre care unul va fi dedicat Bucovinei. Întrebat care a fost cea mai frumoasă experiență din această regiune, Charlie Ottley a declarat că Bucovina este o zonă extrem de frumoasă, iar cel mai interesant moment a fost participarea la nunta tradițională și explorarea munților. Vă invităm să urmăriți un interviu exclusiv cu jurnalistul britanic pe scările bunicii Achilina, unde ne va povesti mai multe despre experiențele sale din Bucovina.
What attracted you the most to Bucovina and what led you to include it in the Flavours of Romania series?
Well, we've done 2 seasons of Flavours. This is the 3rd, and the whole principle of the show is to look at all the historic regions. So Bucovina being one of 9, and so there's going to be 9 episodes, and we've come before this from Moldova, and before that from Dobrogea, and before that Muntenia, Oltenia, Banat, Crișana, Maramureș, Transylvania. So this is the final episode. And it was a challenge in a way, finding new stories, as it always is, because this is the 3rd time we've come to do Bucovina, but it's the sort of place that has so many stories. It's not too difficult to do because it's got such beautiful landscapes, so many special locations and landscapes, yeah, I mean. Stories, really. Bucovina is about stories. It's got an incredible heritage, a lot of ethnic diversity. We were with the Hutzels, filming the Hutzel horses before this, and we've been to lots of places I've never seen before. So for me, every time I do this, I go somewhere new and exciting.
I think we have a lot of hidden places in Bucovina.
I think you do, and the challenge has been to discover them because they're not always obvious. But we've got a great team, and Juana does the research, and she's brilliant at that. And then word of mouth and people writing to us and telling us all sorts of stories and suggestions. So it comes together. And also when we're on location, we find places and then add to the features list as we go.
How would you describe Bucovina to a foreigner who has never heard of this region?
I think in terms of Bucovina rather than Romania, just as a part, I would say Bucovina is a place of legends. and timeless landscapes. You know, that is starting to change. We do see a lot of old houses, shures like that one, coming down, being burnt or being sold, and concrete going up in its place, which is sad because since I first came in 2010, I've seen a lot of the patrimony being lost. And I think it's one of the unique selling points of Bucovina, that it has these beautiful wooden villages and amazing architecture. So we need to try to hang on to as much of it as possible, because I think for tourists as well, it's a wonderful thing to come and see. But I also think you can modernise an old house, and you know, you can adapt it without having to tear it down and put concrete in its place. So, you know, as I've done myself in our house in Schöne, we did a complete refit of the house, and now it's very comfortable. It's modern, but it's like this. It's a traditional casa bunica.
Okay, yes, we saw that actually. That's awesome. What was the most memorable moment you spent in Bucovina during the filming?
There's been a lot of things that I've seen, from the reenactment of a traditional Bucovinan wedding, which was a delight to behold, and with the music and the fanfare and the challenges set for the groom, and all the theatre that goes into a traditional wedding up here, which is a really spectacular sight. And then I think also being in the hills with the shepherds and seeing the way that they hang on to these traditional techniques of farming, which contributes to the biodiversity of the landscape. And for me, that was a beautiful thing to go and visit. Also, we've discovered some towns up here. That I mean, Vatradone, I think, is a really exciting place at the moment, and they've completely refurbished the casino and restored the old casino. And it's a great example to other towns and cities in Romania that you can actually take the old part of the town and restore it and create something wonderful. So that was really exciting for me.
How do you manage to maintain a balance between promoting the beauty of a place and respecting the privacy and authenticity of the local community?
Well, I think it's not hard to do, because most people seem very happy that we're promoting their area, and they're happy to have us, and you know, we are putting their village or their town on Netflix, so you know, it's something that lots and lots of people see, and that will help, I think, develop tourism in those communities. So we're here to help. I mean, the idea is to show extraordinary places, and I haven't really encountered anyone who's told us to go away. I think they're all pretty happy that we're there, and we're doing our best to show the beauty of these locations.
How do you think your perception of Bucovina has evolved since your first visit to now?
I think it's just that I get to know it better. You know, I mean, I first came and I saw the painted monasteries, and everybody associates that as the brand for Bucovina, you know, the painted monasteries of Bucovina. But there's so much more to this region. And yeah, the monasteries are gorgeous. They're UNESCO World Heritage. I think that they're a fantastic thing to come and see. But also the pastoral landscape is beautiful, and the hills and the views, and you know, the mornings with the mist in the valleys. You know, we were on the hills above Vatradone and looking over the Bistrița Valley, and it was a sea of mist and fog, and we were above it, and I cycled up there at dawn to film, and it was one of the most breathtaking things I've ever seen. So I think I'm finding new places, and that's changing my perception a little bit. I was worried that we'd lost a lot of authentic landscapes here in Bucovina, but then where we've been, I've seen lots of people who are rebuilding with old houses and rebuilding in the same style and maintaining those traditions. And I think Bucovina is quite good at hanging on to its traditions and passing them down the generations, and people are very proud of their heritage here. I think that's really important.
What about our grandmother? What do you think about her work?
I think she's really, really good at what she does. She's an incredible craftsperson. You know, she's clearly been doing this for a long, long time. And what's so impressive is that she's continuing to do it. I mean, she's in her 80s. Most people, have very bad eyesight by this point in their life. I mean, over 50, you start needing glasses usually. And she's in her 80s and she doesn't need glasses and she works away and she clearly loves what she does. And it brings her joy and it brings everyone else joy and she creates beautiful things. I mean, her work is astonishing.
Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Cu drag. Merci.